Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Mords Man. As always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I'm going to entitle this video because I've had a few people say, post some videos on some of your equipment and what are your thoughts on those equipment. So I said, okay, not a problem. So I started with my Fender Squier Jazz Bass Vibe 50 style. And what appealed to me right out the gate for this guitar is the color. I love the 50 style colors, the dolphin blues, the seafoam greens. And unfortunately, when you go looking for those colors, you know, they come with a hefty price tag, especially just because of the color. And it's not, there's a different type of paint that they use to produce these colors. It's just they know that they're in demand and they can get what they want. They can get what they want out. Get what they want from them. You know, so that's why, you know, these are pretty expensive and they're hard to find. And when I seen this on Guitar Center, I was like, oh yeah, I got to get this. And it's been modified too. And of course they put the plates up here like the 50 style plates. I mean, it would have been cool if, well, you wouldn't be able to do it anyway, I guess. You have to just take the plate off each time you change your strings. And you don't change your bass strings that often that it becomes the problem with taking this plate off. But the color just grabbed my attention right out the gate. I'll take it up to the camera in a minute. And when I first seen these paint chips, because they reduced the price because of the paint chip, and I'm one of them guys, I don't care about that. You know, if you got a guitar that has been looking brand new for 5-6 years, you're not a musician, you're just a collector, you know, because when you play these things, there's going to be chips and dings, you know, just, you're not going to get around that, you know. So you got people sometimes, so do you got any chips on it? And when they ask me that, I'm like, you're not a player, dude. Go and get your collector's guitar. This guitar's been played, okay? But I'm very impressed with this guitar. I love the tone. And I'll leave a link down here. When I play, you know, this guitar on some covers, it penetrates through the mix. You know, I don't have to turn it up on top of the mix, you know, just high enough that you can hear it. It penetrates through the mix. You can feel it. You know, when you listen to it, it resonates through my bones. Now, I don't know about everybody else, but that's the feeling that I get when I play certain bass guitars, that you feel that it resonates. You can feel it. I mean, you can not only hear, but you can feel it, you know? And I love guitars and basses, or basses that can make me feel that way, that it resonates. It penetrates through the mix. Because I had did a cover of The Doors' Riders of the Storm. And I had said to myself for years, why didn't they ever do that live? And I got my answer, unfortunately. I think it came off the LA Woman album, and that was the last album that Jim Morrison had cut before he went to Paris, and then, you know, he died in Paris. So that's the answer to my question. That he passed on before they were able to get out on tour and do that tour off the songs off that album. So it's so unfortunate, because I love that song. And Ray, I'm not going to pronounce his last name because I don't want to butcher it, but Mazurek, I think, something like that. But he said that when they came up with that song, he was playing the bass line, you know, with his left hand. So when they went to the studio, they got a bass player, who for some reason was just never given credit to say, well, he technically was not a member of the band. I don't know why, because I'm like, you can't really do too much with a bass player on stage, you know, but I guess he was just a hired hand. So, you know, he played the bass line for the bass player. Said, how am I do that? You know, he's like, it's be twisted all over the place. And the first time I attempted to try to do that song, I'm like, I understand what he's saying. And then later when I revisit, I'm like, it's not hard to do. It's just something that a bass player would not normally play, the sequence of notes and whatever, you know. And it's really easy if you don't focus and concentrate playing that you will fall off track. You know, you hitting wrong notes, then you're trying to get back on track, you know. But I did a cover of it I'll leave a link down here so you can hear it. I didn't make any mistakes. I didn't stumble. I didn't stop. I played it straight through. So that's an indication you will always continuously play and get better. Because 10 years ago, I would have made a lot of mistakes playing that song. And I played it straight through without errorless, free, or flawless the first time I set up to do the cover. So that's an indication that you get better. You never stop getting better unless you die, or unless you just stop playing. But that's the thoughts on this guitar. I mean, it's beautiful. The neck is great because I guess the Vibe specials or the Vibe editions, the neck is different. They did a little more care on it. There's shellacking on it, or lacquer, whatever you call it. And it's smooth. It's not just wood. They didn't put coating on it. It doesn't have any fret issues as far as protruding frets or anything of that nature. So I'll stick it up to the camera. So that is my thoughts on it. And let me just mention this before I sign off. For the most part, I tend to get my guitars and basses from Music Go Round or Guitar Center. There was Reverb and eBay. And now mainly what I'm going to start doing moving forward is basically just Guitar Center and Music Go Round. And Guitar Center will get a bump up above Music Go Round for this reason. You can get some decent deals from Guitar Center. Their stuff is not super overpriced like Reverb. I don't know where those people come from. They want 3 times the amount of stuff that's normally this price. And a seasoned musician would know kind of the ballpark figure as far as the Blue Book value at this point. And they like 2 steps above that. It's like, where y'all getting your prices from? It's like, it's ridiculous. And out of all of them, Reverb is the hardest one. If for some reason something wrong with the guitar, those people don't want to give your money back. They can deny your request, and it's going to be okay. But they are in for the rude awakening because Reverb don't play that. If you are a buyer and you buy a guitar, something wrong with it, that's different. You just don't like it. That's kind of up in the air. Because there's nothing wrong with the guitar. But when there's something wrong with the guitar, these people think that they're not going to, give you your money back. And that's what I love about Guitar Center. There's absolutely no hassle. You call them and say, you can even say, I just don't like it, and they're like, okay, well, we'll send you the label and you can send it back to us. So for the most part, I just do my deals with Guitar Center and sometimes Music Go Round. Because they was having problems with, you got to have problems. You were having problems with them getting your money back for something, but they didn't kind of gotten better because they realized they were on some BS because they tried to pull this. You buy a guitar, you pay for the shipping and handling, and for some odd reason, something's wrong with the guitar. You call them and tell them, hey, something wrong with this. They say, okay, you can send it back. But guess what? We're not going to give you your original shipping back. Oh, yes, you are. And please explain to me why you think you're going to keep my shipping. We're not talking restock fee and all that stuff. We're just talking about you just not going to refund me my money. And I called my credit company and I explained. They said, don't worry about it, man. We got you. And they got on their tail and they forced that refund, shipping costs back. But now they don't even bother you with that because they knew they were wrong. It's like, can you please explain to me why you think you're going to just keep my $90? Because shipping and handling with Music Go Round is pretty expensive. But you do get your guitar in about 2-3 days. One day I got it the next day. So that's why, I'm kind of leaning more towards these days just Guitar Center. Because with eBay, I told you guys in my other video the other day, The guy sent me a 3/4 guitar size, the toy guitar. There was no mention of this is a toy size guitar. There was no other guitar in the picture to show you this is a toy size guitar. It wasn't in the heading. It wasn't in the description. And that was done deliberate. It's like, if you got a small guitar, you need to acknowledge this is small. When you got a standard guitar, there's no reason because it's standard. The only time you got to specify when it's not standard. And a lot of people just put standard anyway. It's like it's standard, it's standard. But, I've been getting a lot of that like the last 2 months. People sending me stuff on some bull. I had another one from Akira, and I'm going to stop altogether bothering them. Pay for the guitar, and the day before the person was going to ship it, oh, you still want this guitar? Why would you ask me that when I've already paid for it and I'm waiting for you to ship it? Very next day, the seller has canceled the transaction, So I'm tired of that nonsense. I'm basically now kind of just strictly Guitar Center, because Guitar Center comes through. They're not going to hassle you and send you garbage or post a picture and the description is not matching the item when it gets here. Again, with that eBay auction of the day, it came yesterday, little tiny guitar. I sent it right back out the same day because I'm like, I did not pay for a kid-size guitar, But I'm going to sign off now. But I'm very pleased with this bass. I love it. It looks good. It plays well, So there it is. I'm going to sign off now. Until next time, take care.